It just like kind of like a pop top soda top popper almost. It's super handy.
I was just still stuck on pop top soda top pop topper thing.
It's kind of like a pop top.
It was more like scatting is all I was saying. Hello, and welcome to Book Reshorts.
It's a short.
It's a short. It's the last short of the holiday season, the first short of the year. It's a bunch of things.
Yay!
This is the podcast where we share weird media finds with our friends who don't know what we're talking about. I'm Sam.
I'm Danielle.
And this time, Danielle, you should know what I'm talking about because, as is only appropriate, it's time for another partial recall.
No! Don't make me.
After my absolutely stellar performance in our last partial recall.
Bad.
It was not great. I am inclined to say that at least we can see what you will give me with this year's first partial recall, Cinderella III, A Twist in Time.
Oh, God. Okay.
Right. So, I've given you one without much plot because I figured I'd be kind, but also that means there's not a lot to remember, so good luck.
Oh, gosh. All right. Cinderella 3. Well, it involves Cinderella.
That's good start.
She's already married, right? Or about to get married?
No, it takes place, it starts on their 1-year anniversary of her marriage to Prince No Name. He has no name. I looked it up.
All right, well, Prince No Name and her are 1 year into their marriage.
Yeah.
It's not going super hot.
No, it's going great. Are you kidding?
I don't remember this plot. Give me a clue.
All right. So it starts with Cinderella and the prince singing about how wonderful their lives are and how Cinderella earned everything she got just because she fit a shoe, so her self-esteem is in the toilet.
I remember that you really thought that Cinderella needed some therapy or something.
Well, Cinderella needs therapy, but also, more importantly, we then find out that the wicked stepfamily, with the stepmother and Drizella and Anastasia, are still doing pretty well, although they're all very upset to now have to do chores themselves in their giant mansion with all their money instead of, I don't know, doing the fashionable thing and hiring a scullery maid or whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't hire anybody.
I guess the wicked stepmother's like, it's too cheap, and she's like, I got 2 really good daughters, put them to work, or something.
I guess, maybe. It seems like it would be a status symbol, so like if you didn't have the help, your daughters would be less marriageable.
I cannot explain anyone's motivations in this movie, Danielle. I don't think the movie even cares. All right, so we're good there, and then, do you remember what happens next?
Something about time travel.
That's a good guess. All right.
One of the sisters manages to find the time travel, right? And wishes she was married to the prince or something. Sort of? Maybe?
Very, oof. I mean, you got all the right parts, not all the right players. So, it's like you got a bunch of checkers pieces on a chessboard. Like, the right idea, wrong arrangement. So the prince and Cinderella are having a picnic, a 1-year anniversary picnic, and the fairy godmother is there singing about how, like, oh, I have a magic wand and I'm great, and then she throws the magic wand off into the woods.
Oh, that's right. She just throws it, and then what's-her-face finds it, right?
Anastasia, yes.
Yes.
Whom is the real tragic hero of this movie, lest we forget.
Because she really deserves better, even though she's kind of
you'll
sassy.
See. She's so tragic in this movie. She is very sad.
Because she wants all the things she can't have and doesn't have any self-esteem.
Right. She all she wants is love, and she doesn't believe she deserves love, and everyone keeps telling her she's unlovable.
Does she end up with anybody in the end? Doesn't she, not get to... Yeah, doesn't she not end up
You were
with anybody?
very upset by the end of this movie that Anastasia has her turnaround to the good, spoiler alert, but gets no closure at all. She's just left to be alone and sad.
Yeah, well, she gets a little bit of self-esteem, but not enough to compensate for the fact that all she really wanted was true love.
I mean, I think there are a bunch of still paintings throughout the credits, and one of them shows maybe the Duke courting her briefly, but I don't know if it actually goes anywhere.
That's sad.
Anyway, Anastasia finds the wand.
And then she wishes her life was different.
No.
She tries to learn how to use it?
No.
She doesn't know what it's for and just carries it around.
She absolutely knows what it's for. She was spying on the whole thing.
I remember at some point they're all in a room together and Cinderella's listening outside, or there's birds listening outside or something.
That's so much later.
I rember that scene.
She takes it back to her mom and her sister.
Right? Shows it off.
Yeah, she's like, look what I found. And then they suggest beating her with it because terrible people. And she's like, no, it's really magic. And then her and the fairy godmother fight. And she turns the fairy godmother into stone by accident. Yeah. So she's out of the picture. And apparently her power is Lady Who Found Wand. And now Anastasia is Lady Who Found Wand. So they're basically the same person.
So somehow she inherited all the powers just because she found the wand that the fairy godmother just so casually threw away.
Yeah. The wand is the power. The fairy godmother has no intrinsic power. She's just a lady with a wand.
Crazy.
But guess who takes the wand from Anastasia?
The Drusilla.
No.
The godmother. Cinderella.
Yeah, no, she's stone. The wicked stepmother takes it.
That's what I meant when I said the godmother.
Yeah, I know. We got those mixed up. So the wicked stepmother takes it. She's the one who initiates all the time travel shenanigans. Anastasia is not that person.
And she keeps making bad wishes.
Well, the stepmother doesn't really make wishes. They're not really bad. It's not like monkey's paw situation. All right, so the wicked stepmother goes back in time to...
Right before they get married?
Further.
Before she meets him?
Later.
While they're courting? At the ball?
Later.
Later than the ball?
Yeah.
When they're engaged?
Earlier.
Oh my God, Sam. Just tell me when it is.
When they're doing the shoe fitting.
Because that's the point of no return.
That's when the prince uncovers, like, when he's going around trying to figure out who his bride should be by putting shoes on all random people and not thinking at all that maybe he could just look at their faces.
I like that the story completely and solely relies on the fact that you have to buy into the shoe myth.
This movie admits that the shoe is a terrible way to do this and that it can fit multiple people, but they're still like, that was his only option.
Well, they're magical shoes, so no, they couldn't fit multiple people, Sam. That's why they don't.
Well, that's what happens here, is he's trying to fit the shoe on Anastasia, and it's not fitting, but the stepmother magics it so that it does fit. Hey, that's his new bride.
Anastasia.
Is
she the eldest or the youngest?
I don't know. She's the redhead. In the Disney version. I don't know in the original story what anything is about.
Is she the slightly smarter one, or is she kind of the ditzy one?
She's kind of the ditzy one. Drizella's like the cruel smart one, I think. I don't know. Like, again, they have very little personality in any of these movies.
And so now, why is she picking Anastasia and not Drusilla? Didn't we talk about how it would have been better to do Drusilla because she would have been more on board?
Drusilla would have gone along with this whole plan immediately, and Anastasia very much has a crisis of conscience, which Drusilla would not have.
Exactly. That was a dumb choice, Mother.
It was a dumb choice, but that's the choice she made, Danielle, and she can't change it. She just couldn't go back in time twice. That'd be crazy.
So Anastasia keeps screwing it up, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Danielle, you gotta, what's going on from this point?
I don't know what's going on from that point, Sam. I don't remember the plot of the story.
So Anastasia's going to marry the prince.
Right.
Cinderella comes down and is like, oh, what happened? I thought I was supposed to marry the prince. And the big stepmother's like, nope, sorry. Smashes the other glass slipper she has. And they all go off to the castle, leaving Cinderella behind.
So Cinderella's on her own, and instead of enjoying her free time.
Yeah, her newfound freedom.
Which she totally would.
Yeah. She'd be doing that whole thing, sliding around in her underwear, right?
Yeah, she'd be like, this
Tom
is the
Cruise
best
style.
thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. She now can enjoy her inheritance that her stepmother took from her in peace. But no, she decides that the one night she spent with the man is more important.
I can't believe that. What a terrible moral lesson for children.
This movie is full of terrible moral lessons. You can only find love if you have an instant spark. Otherwise, there's no point in trying.
Oh, wasn't that a song or something by the dad?
Yeah, it's a repeated theme throughout this movie.
Crazy.
Anyway, so what does Cinderella do?
So Cinderella, who's not living her best life like she should be, does she infiltrate the castle?
Yes! Do you remember what she poses as? Just out of curiosity. I don't think you will, but I thought I'd ask.
Is it one of the maids?
No, she tries to pose as a mouse catcher.
Oh, that's right. She's going around trying to catch the mice that are her friends.
Yeah.
And so she gets free access to the entire castle, because somehow that's a thing.
And there's no security at all.
No, it just has to wander from room to room while she's looking for the clues as to why everything's different.
I remember that this castle was ripe for a French Revolution.
Can you imagine living in a world where you meet this prince one time and you're like, this is my destiny and I am going to right the wrong. I'm so sure
she becomes a crazy stalker. She literally, this is a stalker behavior. I'm going to sneak into his house until he loves me.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
It's a great movie. Can't recommend it enough. If you view it not as a fairy tale, but more like a Basic Instinct style sexual thriller, it's great.
So she's wandering around as her mouse catcher. And is this where she overhears the stepmother and the two stepsisters talking about the wand?
I mean, a little bit. There's a lot of shenanigans that happen before that.
Right, with the mice and everything.
No, the mice and her split up because somehow that's a great idea because they can't communicate in any way.
Yes, I recall that because several times during it, I felt like if they could just call each other or something, it would have worked a lot better.
And splitting up is completely useless because, again, the mice can't talk to anyone. Anyway, not important. The point is, Anastasia meets the prince and the stepmother casts another spell on him.
So that he can't love her?
So that he forgets Cinderella so that he will love Anastasia. Because he looks at Anastasia like, nope, you're not the girl I was dancing with.
Which should have been like your first clue when you were trying to put the shoe on her.
And I was saying, like, he could have done a police sketch or something, and, like, it'd been perfect. But no, besides, he didn't put the shoe on her. The Duke was going around putting the shoe on people.
Wild, though, because all you had to say is, like, even just saying she had blonde hair would have narrowed down your suspect list.
Yeah, no, everyone in this movie is an idiot. And also, I forgot to mention the king gave some advice about how, as we talked about, the only way you can find love is by touching their hand and knowing it's instantly a spark or whatever.
Oh, that's right, the hand touch. That's how he found his wife.
Yeah, very important.
It is later, isn't it? Isn't that how it gets resolved in the end? Is he touches Cinderella's hand?
I mean, yes and no.
Gosh.
I know, this movie's dumb. So they meet the prince. Anastasia basically has a series of interactions with the prince. Like, they dance together a little bit. There's some wedding planning. And she starts to, like, feel bad. And how, like, all she wants is him to genuinely love her, and he's actually kind to her, which makes her feel, I don't know, I guess it softens her because the first time anyone in her life was ever kind to her.
Which is so depressing.
Yeah, this movie, like I said, Anastasia is the real tragic heroine of this movie because she has been abused her whole life. Like, I'm not saying Cinderella wasn't a tragic heroine also, but in this story, Cinderella's fine, and she comes back in, and Anastasia's the one who's been suffering.
Yeah, that's sad. I kind of feel like Anastasia should have maybe gotten the prince. Cinderella should have been fine living on her own.
Or she should have gotten someone else. Like, she should have been fine. Like, someone else could say, hey, I saw what you did when you, at the end, spoiler, sacrificed your happiness so Cinderella could be happy with the prince and, you know, undo all the shenanigans. And that made me really respect you as a person. But no, that does not happen.
Maybe in Cinderella 4, twistier twists in time.
Cinderella 4, Slipper Boogaloo.
It doesn't rhyme, Sam.
Does Electric Boogaloo rhyme?
No, but it rhymes with 2. It's just the whole point.
Okay. Sure. All right. Cinderella 4, Shoe No More. There?
I mean, that would probably be a better plot. Get rid of the shoe thing.
A magic spell is cast in the castle. The prince has lost all the shoes have been banished from the kingdom. The prince must rely on his least reliable sense, sight, to identify his true love. He must recognize her by her face. Which
he absolutely can't do because, I don't know. In some renditions, it's a masquerade, and that makes way more sense.
Yeah, if it was a masquerade, I'd be like, okay, right? As it is, the prince just has face blindness or a tumor or something.
I'm going to go with face blindness. That would explain a lot of that plot.
I'm going with the tumor because he's also an idiot.
It's so sad. Hopefully benign tumor. He's just a little dumb and can't see very well. He's got like black spots.
I didn't say that to be
vision.
Like cancerous, but there's clearly something pressing on his frontal lobe and causes some problems.
All right, so she finds out that her stepmother and her stepsisters have this wand after many mice shenanigans because they can't.
Well, the mice tell her.
Don't the mice go and talk to the prince?
Oh, that's later. But the mice are the ones who tell Cinderella about the wand, and then she goes and spies on her stepmother, saying how she magicked the prince to forget her because she ran into the prince earlier, and while they did touch hand and felt the spark, he still didn't remember her, and he becomes like confused at that point. He's like, I'm not really sure what's going on.
I can't feel sparks for 2 people.
Well, he didn't feel a spark for Anastasia.
I know.
Even though she's the one he knows he danced with because of the spell. And so that's what's got him all mixed up. Like, I felt a spark for this random woman who I don't know. And I didn't feel a spark for my dancing partner whom I do know. And
yeah, if only you normally decided your future based on one dance at a ball.
And a hand touch.
And a hand touch.
Anyway, so he's feeling all confused. Cinderella's all confused because she doesn't know why the prince doesn't remember him. And then she overhears the stepmother talking about how she did all this. And she's like, oh, yes, of course. That's how.
So she's trying to steal the wand, right? Doesn't the mice go in there and try and steal it or something?
Yes. My shenanigans continue, Danielle. They never end in this movie.
So they go in there and they're trying to steal the wand. Do they end up stealing the wand?
Yes. Movie over.
I don't know what happens from there.
They steal the wand, and they're chased by the stepmother and all the others, and she calls the guards on Cinderella, and just as Cinderella's about to cast a counter spell by just basically saying something like, let the prince remember, that's my spell, which I guess anything counts. This movie has no rules when it comes to the magic.
You can just literally say anything and wiggle a wand around.
And you have to say bippity boppity boo, apparently, and then it magically happens.
Who cares about the song?
Right. Anyway, she's about to do that when she's seized by the guards, and the stepmother banishes her from the kingdom, sends her off on a boat to be forever removed from the prince's life, instead of just, I don't know, killing her, or magicking her away, or doing anything at all.
Yeah, didn't we argue in this that it seemed like the stepmother kind of forgot she had a wand at all?
Oh yeah, even though she literally just stole the wand back from Cinderella, she's like, I could use this to, I don't know, turn you into stone, or we could disappear, or remove you from my life, but I won't. I will put you on a boat.
Change her memory so she doesn't remember either.
Yeah.
Which she should have done in the first place.
Yeah, she doesn't care what Cinderella does, and she's like, go away, I'm fine.
She puts her on a boat, but she manages to get off the boat, I assume, at some point.
Kind of. So this is the scene you were referring to earlier about the mice talking to the prince.
Okay, so the mice are trying to alert somebody that Cinderella's on a boat and floating farther and farther away from fairy tale land.
Right. So the mice go to the prince. Fairylandia, yes. It's as good a name as Prince No Name. So the mice go to the prince and they sing a song basically reenacting the movie for, I think, like the third or fourth time in this movie they reenact the first movie.
That's right. They do that game. Charades, but musical charades.
Musicades!
Charadicals.
Musical.
No, charadicals, Sam.
That's a musical.
So they do that and the prince can sort of understand them?
Yeah, he doesn't understand the words they say, but he gets the charades enough. But he gets the charades.
He's like, charading mice. Didn't think I was going to say this today.
And so he's like, oh yes, magic. I've been befuddled by magic. That makes so much sense. Which, no, it does not. You are clearly having a mental breakdown because mice are talking to you.
And just because you don't have feelings for your bride-to-be, but had feelings for someone else, does not mean you're befuddled by magic.
It means maybe you should rely on the shoe fit to identify your bride-to-be.
So does he follow the mice to the boat?
Yeah, he doesn't follow the mice. They don't know where the boat is, but he arrow flints his way onto the boat.
That's what I was going to say. Doesn't he, Tarzan it?
Yeah, he, slides down the sail on a knife kind of thing.
And he's like, person I don't know the name of, who I had instant spark with when I touched her hand. Where are you?
He does know her name, kind of. This is where I don't understand what this movie's about, because he understood the mice enough to get her name was Cinderella, even though her name is Cinderella, and then she corrects him, even though that's not really her name. It's a cruel nickname. I don't know. Not important.
That's what she goes by, Sam. She's taken ownership of it.
Yeah, that's right. She's working it. He gets her off the boat because there's no one on the boat to stop them, and the boat literally has no one on it. It's
unmanned. She just magicked the boat out into the ocean. It was like, good luck out there, Cinderella.
It had actually left dock. It was preparing to leave when he got to her. So it was like a, nick of time kind of thing.
And she apparently the stepmother didn't assign anybody as guard or anything like that to her.
Nope.
Wild.
Nothing. I know. Incompetence. All right. So remember what happens next?
They live happily ever after.
No.
So he takes her off the ship. There's got to be some kind of showdown with the stepmother and siblings.
Yeah, so they're going to try to arrest the stepmother.
She has the magic wand.
She remembers. Guess what she remembers she has, Danielle?
The magic wand.
What'd she do with it?
Makes him forget again? I don't know. Sends her back onto the ship. Kills Cinderella. The end.
I mean, you would think any of those options would be good, but instead she and her daughters just disappear.
They just disappear.
She makes them all just disappear. She says, poof, we're gone.
To where?
Danielle, I do not know.
Neverland?
Sure. Or, I don't know, maybe the kingdom of Aurora or whatever, Princess Aurora.
Wild.
They go hang out with that evil step fairy godmother, whatever.
That's just crazy.
Anyway, do you remember what happens next after they disappear?
Do we actually see them again, or are they just floating in the ether?
Oh, they'll come back, Danielle.
Are they about to get married? Did they come back when she's about to get married?
Yeah, so Cinderella and the prince are there are crazy fugitives with a magic wand but our wedding's on for tonight, so let's not miss that.
Did the magic wand go with the fairy god, or go with the...
Well, she disappeared with it,
okay.
She magicked herself away.
So they're gone, and then they're about to get married, and then they show up to ruin the wedding, right?
I mean, ruin is a strong word, and they're not crashing it.
What do they do?
The wicked stepmother shows up as Cinderella's getting dressed, and guess who she has with her?
Anastasia?
Yes, but she doesn't look like Anastasia.
She looks like Cinderella. She's gonna swap them.
Yeah.
Man, the story is weirder than I remember.
So she magics Cinderella away into a pumpkin carriage because...
Sure.
I don't know. She saw the first movie and decided to make a callback.
She could have just killed her. Again, problem solved.
Again. And is getting Anastasia ready to marry the prince, disguise Cinderella, And Anastasia is having doubts.
I cannot express to you how much she should have chosen Drusilla to do this.
Yeah, no. I mean, she could have chosen Drusilla at this point to do this. Like, she's changing their appearance. It doesn't matter
at all. Drusilla would 100% be on board because she's just like a mini mom.
Yeah. No, Anastasia's like, I wanted him to love me for me. He was kind to me. I want that. I don't want him loving me because he thinks of someone else.
Right. And so she doesn't want to get married to him. I mean, she wants to get married to him, but she doesn't want to get married to him.
She doesn't want to get married to him under false pretenses.
Exactly. Does she end up telling him about it while they're going?
Yeah, so there's a whole scene that's kind of boring where Cinderella breaks out of the carriage and like gets on a horse and comes back to the castle. But she gets held up and can't get there in time. But just as they're about to say I do, guess who says I don't?
Anastasia for the win.
Anastasia, hero of the movie.
Woo!
I'm an Anastasia stan now. It's true.
Go Anastasia. Wasn't she kind of slightly flirting with one of the, like, footmen or something that was in the castle at one point?
Giselle, you mean?
No, Anastasia. Wasn't she having, like, a brief moment with somebody else in the castle? And I was curious if they were going to get together.
I do not remember, Danielle.
No, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Could be making that up. Maybe in my head canon, she was happier.
I did remember one thing we forgot, which was when the prince jumped out a window, which was hilarious.
Yeah, he just, like, throws himself. It's weird.
Out a window. His dad's like, you can't go down those stairs to chase after that random woman. He's like, all right. So he jumps out a window.
I remember that because you YouTubed the clip or something and sent it to me.
Because it's the best part of the movie. It's the best animation in the movie. It's great.
And so she tells him that she can't marry him because she's not really Cinderella.
Yeah. And then Cinderella comes in.
Yeah, so say she shows up. And she's like, it's me! I'm Cinderella! No, I'm Cinderella.
Well, I mean, Anastasia's like, no, yeah, she's Cinderella. So there's none of that.
You'd be so confused as Prince. You're like, okay, let's take a moment. We can't get married. Like, I need to figure out what's going on right now.
And so the wicked stepmother shows up and they fight with Cinderella.
And then birds come down from the skies and cut out their eyes with their beaks.
No.
No? Okay, we're not going old school.
Wrong Cinderella story. This is Cinderella 1, Danielle. This is Cinderella 3.
Well, just trying. Thought maybe it ended in the same way.
So she's about to like magic Cinderella away after like vanishing all the guards with her magic wand.
Uh-huh.
But guess who stops her?
The fairy godmother.
No, she's stone.
Still.
She's irrelevant.
Anastasia stops her. Drusilla.
No.
The prince. King?
Yeah.
The prince.
The prince steps in front of the blast of magic and reflects it with his sword because...
I like that I just named every single character until I got one right.
There's only like 5 characters in this movie, Danielle. It's not hard.
But it was like the 4th one I picked.
Because it doesn't matter. Like, he has this little hero moment. He saves Cinderella and banishes Drusilla and the wicked stepmother by reflecting the magic back on them, turning them into frogs back in their home.
And Anastasia's still a human, right?
So, yeah. So Anastasia takes the wand and undoes the spell on herself and brings back the fairy godmother. Like, basically, like, undoes her part of the things.
I think the fairy godmother should lose her wand privileges.
She should never have them begin with. Like, who gave her these privileges? I think she just really found the wand in the woods, like, I'm going to make myself the fairy godmother. People are going to love me.
She probably found that, like, probably the previous one threw it away, too. It's like the Santa Claus, where you just become the Santa Claus because you put on the suit.
Oh, I think it's more like a monkey's paw where someone's like, this thing is cursed, and threw it away, and she picked it up like, I'm going to use this. Here's my favorite part. So, the fairy godmother offers to undo all the time travel and return everyone back to their previous timeline.
That's right, and they don't.
And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Because obviously they have no concept of this being time travel.
Right.
And so the fairy godmother's like, no, you know what? Never mind. We'll just leave things as is. It's fine.
Which is insane. Like, she should definitely just have done it. Like, she shouldn't have even asked. She should have just sent them back to the normal timeline.
Like, they've lost a year of their lives, and a bunch of crazy stuff has happened. Although I think she should send them back to the normal timeline, but not Anastasia. Like, giving Anastasia an out because like, she proved herself. Yeah,
do you want to live in an alternate timeline where you get the guy?
Or maybe you send it back to the original timeline, but you can, like, keep your memory of this timeline so you can get the heck out of that house and, like, run away.
Yeah, agreed. That means they don't have, like, any kind of relationship. I guess it's no worse than it was the original where they just danced together and got married.
This is literally the exact same relationship they had at the beginning when they got married last time. So.
Yeah, but it's still crazy because, as you said, they lose an entire year of their lives.
Yeah, but that year apparently does not matter because they don't need it, I guess.
So sad. What if it's because they got met in a completely different way? What if he has, like, trust issues with her or something, and then they're not as happy as they would have been?
He's like, always like testing her to make sure she's not
Yeah,
Giselle
like
or
wouldn't
something
you feel
disguised.
weird about that, knowing that you almost married somebody who looked just like your wife?
And you can never be sure if you were bespelled in some way or not.
Hate that.
Because now you know magic is real and it's been used to mess with your head. It could happen again.
Yeah, it's wild. And then you'd question everything, like, well, why was this random person at the ball? Oh, magic was involved in that too? I don't know if I could... What if their relationship completely falls apart, Sam?
That'd be Cinderella IV, divorce court.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad you're just as upset about the ending of this movie this time as you were last time.
It's still upsetting.
It's very upsetting. This is an upsetting movie. I love it. If you, watch this movie, again, as we are wont to do, you can find the dark undertones. This is the deeply dark movie.
It is a dark movie. I agree.
So yeah, there you go. That's Cinderella III, A Twist in Time. I'm glad you remembered
more
some
than
things.
you remembered about the Wolf movie.
Hey, you know what? I take my one bad performance. That's fine. I'm happy with that.
This was on par for my normal. I feel like it was no worse than my usual.
I didn't say it was. In fact, you did pretty well.
I think my worst was still that one Hyperion recap.
That was painful. That was definitely painful.
Where I didn't remember anything.
That was a real thing, and that wasn't even like a partial recall. That was just like a week or two.
Just a normal one.
Yeah, no.
A normal recall.
Anyway, I have not seen Cinderella 2, whatever the middle one is. Maybe something happened in that one that the fairy godmother's like, oh, we don't want to have that happen again, so I'm not going to take you back to the original timeline.
Cinderella 2, Glass Shoe Boogaloo.
All right. Disney, don't call us. In fact, we don't want you listening because you'll definitely sue us for something. I'm sure you would. Yeah. All right. Well, we have made it through our winter bazaar, Danielle.
We made it. Yay.
Into the new year.
Good job, us.
Oh, it was exhausting. It's going to get more exhausting, but good job, everyone. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. Probably.
That's true. We got something extra special coming up, and then more Hyperion! Yay!
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited. Danielle, I'm in trouble. I do not remember enough of it. I got to go reread a bunch of stuff.
I don't know to recap it.
I know. I'm excited because you'd have to remind me.
What did you do 6 weeks ago?
All right. Well, until then, Happy New Year, everybody. Don't go mess with time travel to undo this year of our lives.
Really?
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe.
Happy New Year!
Until then, bye.
Take care, everybody. Well, Cinderella.
Hold on, sirens. Sorry. Give you some time to think.
Yeah, I don't know, Sam. I was going to make it up.
What else is new?